Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Tuesday, February 13th. Okay, so the moon is in Aries all day. We love this because it puts a little bit of fire, of flair, of spice back into our lives. Our mood, our attitude should be a little bit more perky than it has been in previous days. And we are definitely looking forward. We want to move forward. Problem is, there isn't a whole lot of option and opportunity to actually take action and make moves out in the physical world. This is a time of inner cultivation, really fanning the fire, keeping that spark, that fire, that flame really ignited. We really have to build in our excitement, our passion, or if you're using anger and frustration as your fuel source for this change, this adjustment period, we have to keep that at a very high energy in order for us to be well equipped, well prepared, that when the opportunity rises, we're able to assert ourselves in the direction that we now need to take in moving forward. Until then, this is an energy management exercise. We're definitely going to be tested here today because Mars, who rules over this Aries energy, is moving out of Capricorn, moving into Aquarius. This is going to be a totally different mood, totally different vibe for us to be working with. I am going to encourage you to take a listen to the astro forecast that I put out for this particular event. Flip to this particular section in your Aquarius season e-guide. Really capture the shift in your mood, in your attitude, in the energy now coursing through your body. It is definitely going to be a major shift. And if you want to know where this is taking place, mostly in your life, you should be listening to your February zodiac forecast to understand where this energy is likely to manifest. So with that being said, there are 9 different aspects taking place here today. 7 of them are going to involve the moon. 1:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is when Mars shifts into Aquarius energy. So again, our physical energy, our actions, our passions, our desires, our anger are going to be center stage, major focus for these next couple of days as we receive the insight of the topics and themes that we are going to be moving through, learning through, pushing through while Mars is in this Aquarius energy. Again, take a listen to the forecast. And if you haven't listened to this week's Ascension forecast, you should probably check that out too, so that you understand where in the physical body these particular energy shifts actually manifest. So a couple of hours later, early morning, we have the moon in this Aries energy, making a positive interaction with Mars, fresh in this Aquarius energy. Again, keep in the back of your mind that Mars rules over the Aries energy that the moon is in. So this is going to be very intense, engaging with the ruler of the energy that, emotionally speaking, we are finding our comfort zone in. The Aries energy is a fire sign. The Aquarius energy is an air sign. If we can balance this energy out, we can definitely cultivate a new passion, new desire, new creative ideas. However, if there's too much action or excitement or anger or frustration and not enough inspiration or information to actually be pouring into this collaborative expansion of these thoughts and ideas that we now want to be moving into, we could definitely burn ourselves out. Or there's too much air energy, too much thought, too much conversation, too much brainstorming, and not enough, let's say, cultivation of passion, excitement, or frustration to keep that fire going, then we are definitely going to see burnout as well. When we can balance these energies, emotionally speaking, this should provide us with an opportunity to get hyped up in all the right ways. Again, I'm really hoping that most of us are using excitement and inspiration and motivation and determination as our fuel source at this particular point in time. However, using anger and frustration is also a very powerful fuel in order for major change to actually take place. So this is kind of getting us all riled up in the right way, I would say, but the challenge here is that we want to act on impulse, go out in the world, take action and make moves. And again, this is an inner journey. This isn't as much about the external opportunity to take action and make moves as much as it is the inner realm journey of getting in alignment with a new goal, new vision, new dream, and keeping hyped up about it. Now, the moon is then going to make a positive interaction with Pluto, the great transformer himself. He's in Aquarius energy because, again, Mars just moved into this Aquarius energy, literally sitting on top of Pluto. We will have that direct aspect there pop off here tomorrow, which essentially we are already under the influence of. And so the moon interacting with Pluto in this way, we are bossing up. We are empowered. We definitely want to flip the script. We want to focus in, hone in on a specific idea, on a specific goal, on a vision, on a dream. We want to get very realistic on what it is that we need to do to not only gain the clarity that we need to have at this particular point, and that requires research and exploration of certain information, topics, and themes in order for us to feel well informed, just as much as it does us keeping hyped up, excited, fueled up about the changes that we know that we need to make. Now, this is going to come on in a very intense way, definitely pushing us to really see how much control we have over our energy, over our emotions. The natural instinct is to take action and make moves just for the sake of doing so because we're jittery, we're restless, we have ants in our pants. The real goal is understanding where we have to kind of build that energy up, sustain that energy within ourselves so that we are going to be able to take action and make moves when the green light go ahead actually presents itself. But we're going to have calculated and deliberate moves to be made. And so it's very much about exercising just as much patience as there is excitement, realizing that, again, this is the inner cultivation of that energy, that fuel source needed, not as much about going out into the world, taking action and making moves. The moon in Aries then sextiles, beautiful interaction with Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, how it is that we express ourselves, also in this Aquarius energy. So this is an opportunity for us to see where it is that our heart and our head are on the same page, that they're aligned, that they're focused on the same thing, the same goal, the same vision, the same outcome, if you will. This is also an opportunity if you find yourself in situations and circumstances where communication is coming, to the forefront. This is an aggressive communication energy. Yes, we're thinking visionary. Yes, we're thinking about the possibilities. Yes, we're thinking and brainstorming and collaborating for sure, but our speech is very pressurized and it comes with a little bit of spice, I would say, just because the moon in Aries kind of gives us this aggression that many of us don't know how to kind of portray in the proper tone in conversation. And so where it comes to our inner realm, our heart and our head are kind of, building on this new idea. But in conversations with other people, we may come off a little bit more pushy, a little bit more aggressive than we would prefer to come off as. So then we have Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, in this Capricorn energy, sextiling Neptune, who's in his place of power in this Pisces energy. We love earth energy and water energy working together because when you water earth, something grows. We're nurturing and nourishing our physical realms with a new spirit, with a new idea, with new creativity, and with new passion, and therefore something is going to grow out of that. Venus forming the sextile to Neptune is going to change our mood and our attitude into wanting to see the best out of situations, out of circumstances, out of people. We really want to focus on the silver lining, so to speak. We don't want to be too hard on ourselves or other people in our lives. And therefore, this kind of brings a little bit more of a gentle approach, especially taking some of the harshness out of this aggressive moon energy. And so we can be a little bit super sensitive. We are a little bit more open to seeing the, I'm going to say, dots connect, the spiritual aspect of some of the situations and circumstances that we're currently dealing with. There is a high level of creative energy, of imagination, of fantasy that we're able to tap into here. And especially when it comes to our personal relationships, we're just having a little bit more empathy and compassion, not only for ourselves in certain relationship dynamics, but of course for other people as well. So this is going to really kind of push us into a situation where we need to kind of open open up, let some of the grudges go, if you will, let some of the heaviness go, really focus on the lighter vibes, things that are working instead of the things that aren't working. It really does kind of allow us to tap into a little bit more of a softer side of ourselves, but yet we're still, I'm going to say, emotionally detached enough so that we're not getting caught up in Delulu land. We're taking a realistic, down-to-earth approach on just kind of orienting to some of the positive thoughts, positive feelings, positive circumstances that we're currently kind of living through. So then we have the moon in Aries energy coming up to, bumping into, teaming up with Chiron, the wounded healer, in this Aries energy. And shortly thereafter, we will have the moon bump into, team up with the North Node in Aries energy. Again, Chiron, the North Node, they are sitting very close to each other in this particular Aries energy. And anytime that we have planets coming together, there is a reset energy. It's just as much about endings as it is beginnings. So with the moon kind of, interacting with Chiron first, that wounded healer, first of all, the ending is coming to seeing ourselves in a negative light, really holding on to our victimhood mentality, really releasing a lot of the, I'm going to say, delusional perceptions and perspectives that we've been having about this change of self. And the beginning part that comes out of this is that we're starting a new cycle of feeling like I'm going to say, more so the healer than the wounded version of self. We're stepping into a place of empowerment. We are aggressively forcing us to anchor into this new version of self, being confident, being bold, being brave, being courageous, understanding that we've grown, we've healed, we've repaired ourselves to a particular point, and we're really not willing to look back. Again, a lot of the energy when we have the moon in Aries is about ripping the rear view mirror off of the car, so to speak. We have no interest in looking back. We have no interest in kind of being attached to some of the constructs, keeping us very attached to the past. We very much want to move and focus into the future. So then when the moon comes up to and bumps into the North Node in Aries, again, it's a reset. So the ending is that we are closing a particular door, if you will, on an emotional chapter that had us stuck, that had us kind of stagnant, that put us in a situation where we were more focused on all the things that were wrong, all the challenges, all the obstacles, than we were focused on all of the good, all of the triumphs, all of the things to celebrate. So again, we're ending something, we're putting something behind us. And again, this North Node in Aries is trying to get us on the right path to be more independent, to really get to know ourselves again, to understand that we have our own wants, needs, and desires that we have to honor in order to actually reach our soul's potential. And so as we are realizing what we are moving away from, what we have healed, what we have outgrown, what we have repaired, we are entering into a new cycle that is currently challenging us. And the moon in Aries is not afraid of a good challenge. We are in our warrior type of spirit. We see a new path, a new option, a new possibility now available to us. And again, in our inner realm, we really need to cultivate this excitement and or frustration in order for us to rise to the challenge, rise to the obstacles that we know that we're going to face in trying to initiate this new path, this new goal, this new vision, this new dream in moving forward. So then the moon is going to interact in a very positive way with Uranus, the great awakener, who is in this Taurus energy. I love this because, first of all, Uranus is giving us a lot of insight. There's a lot of clarity coming in here that is just, again, fueling this inner fire that we are looking to keep at maximum capacity. This is going to show us where there is a new aha moment, where we are connecting the dots, where there are multiple puzzle pieces now available on the table to snap together and reveal the greater, grander picture. And because of that, it is going to reveal a vision, an insight, a glimmer, if you will, on something that we can't unknow. And this seed, let's call it, that's being planted is something that we're going to have to run with. Yes, it's a new way of doing things. It's a new method, a new path, new direction. There's something new forming here. And again, the moon being in this Aries energy, we're looking to initiate on something new. Now, it likely has to do with the physical realm because Uranus, again, in this Taurus energy is about the physical body and the physical realm in which we've created, the routines, the relationship dynamics, the money matters that come along with this earthly experience. And so our minds are being open, if you will, on where it is that, yes, major changes and adjustments need to be made in order for us to kind of break free from some of the restrictions, some of the funkiness that we've been sitting in. But this glimmer, this insight, this aha moment is the seed that's going to be planted that is going to encourage us to keep that fire, that flame cultivated within us so that we are ready to go when the opportunity presents itself to make a major shift in our physical realm. The last thing that we have going on here today is the moon in this Aries energy, making a little bit of tension and conflict, semi-squaring with Saturn. Okay, so we had a pretty good day up until this point, albeit, yes, okay, we could see a little bit of some not so nice thoughts and feelings with those particular conjunctions. And of course, we are adjusting with Mars now moving into this Aquarius energy. Yes, there's some intensities there, but for the most part, the aspects here today have been on the positive side, except for this one. This one is going to bring us a harsh reality check. Again, Mr. Saturn, he's the Lord of Karma. He rules over roles, responsibilities, systems, structures, foundations, willpower, discipline. He's in Pisces energy, really challenging our belief system. And at this particular interaction, again, it's not a huge tension point, not a huge conflict point. However, I think the reality check that is settling in here of the obstacles, the challenges, the blockages that we are facing, the restlessness, the ants in the pants, the frustration, the agitation that we are sitting in, not being able to go out into the world and do what it is that we think we need to do, that is really weighing on us very heavily. And of course, Saturn restricts us. He blocks us from making moves until we think about them very carefully, until we are being supported by the cosmos to make said moves. And right now, this is like the moon in Aries is revved up, ready to go, just, hitting that red line, shaking, almost jittery with all of this energy that we just want to kind of disperse out in the external realm. And Saturn is like pumping the brakes. Like, no, you're not going anywhere. You have to make sure that you are in alignment within yourself, understanding the actions that you need to take in order to make these major changes. And this is kind of putting us in a little bit of a tantrum situation. Again, the Aries energy being the very first sign of the zodiac is the toddler of the zodiac wheel. And we have a very strong ability to throw tantrums when things don't go our way or when we're filled up with too much energy and we're not giving it a healthy outlet. So we really do have to understand that, again, the inner realm wants us to be rearing to go, wants us to take action and make moves. Saturn, he's pumping the brakes. He's kind of putting his hand up and putting his foot down and saying, you know what? You're grounded. You're not going anywhere until you can formulate a proper plan, a path, a strategy. And you come to me and you tell me this plan and you can display that you've thought very carefully, very thoroughly, very deliberately about what it is that you're going to do when you are not grounded and you're kind of, I'm going to say, free to go back out in the world and do what it is that you feel like you have to do at this particular moment. So this is definitely going to trigger some impulse control because, again, with the moon in Aries, our test is energy management.